This is the dawn of a 3-part journey that will lead us to the roof of the world, 1 kilometer above the Lyse Fjord. But to me, the journey is also a last hurrah for a dream I've had since childhood. First, you need a quick introduction to Kevin. Sometime back in the late 2010s, I had begun peddling hand-knit beanies, made by my mom. And inspired by our Norwegian heritage, Kevin contacted us. He's an American with Norwegian roots 4 generations back, and he's a photographer. So long story short, he had been our beanie photographer for about 2 years when we decided it was time for him to visit the homeland. He landed in Stockholm, where I live, and before we headed on the great Norwegian adventure, he got to see my son pick up a slow worm and almost scare the life out of my wife, and backflip into Swedish waters. A day later, we found ourselves on a ferry crossing the Oslo Fjord, and the great gambit would begin.
I hope you're prepared. This trip is gonna include just a lot of this.
A lot of this, yeah. I would have to get used to being in front of the camera, because our goal for this trip, while there was way more to it as well, was to make a brand film for this hand-knit Norwegian beanie company.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Terrible. I really have to go to the bathroom.
Me too.
The first stop was the house where I grew up on the South Coast, where the first ever beanies were made. Soon enough, we were in familiar territory. Are you filming my beautiful hair?
Yeah, it was an interesting call.
Huh?
It was an interesting call, especially when you have a barber friend that could do it nice.
Yeah. I was busy. I was too busy to go to the barber. Is that saying something? Is that telling you that I have an unhealthy lifestyle?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is this a 1-lane road? No.
Yes. And here comes my mom.
Is this your mom?
I don't know. Or my dad. I don't know. No, it's my brother. Hej på dig!
Tjena!
Tjena!
Jag ska hämta ett soffa.
Vi ses senare.
Ja.
Lycka till!
Ja.
We must be close to your home.
Very close. The day of the arrival, we got Kevin to try the liver paste with pickles, a Norwegian classic. What's your judgment of the liver paste?
I thought it was going to be stronger, so I'm enjoying it. Oh, it hit me there. Have you seen the Liver King?
The Liver King? I
Yeah.
recently
So I'm the Liver King.
You're the Liver
Because I'm
King.
eating liver paste.
And we took him out to do some completely normal activities and show him the local area.
Ah, great.
Tomorrow was filming day, and it would start very, very early. The place we were heading to at dawn was a hill behind my parents' house, which overlooks the ocean. Look at this. So I wouldn't expect it to come up so quickly. It is called Cow's Hill. When you crest it, you find yourself above everything else, the sky and the horizon wide open to you. The place meant something to me, and I wanted a shot of it in the film we were making. And I also thought Kevin ought to see the best the South Coast has to offer seaside. This is like my first spot where I experienced the sense of adventure. My parents took us up and we sat over there in a little hollow, a little tucked away grassy hollow, and I experienced the sense of adventure. Look at the sun coming up there. It comes so quickly. It was here the first seeds were planted for that childhood dream. A vague sense of being drawn outdoors, to climb and search for the widest view possible. It was my first taste of the concept I've come to call the light on the other side. The sense that if you can just get to the top and look across the next ridge, you'll somehow be enlightened. But once you do, there's always another wide view just waiting for you to go and explore.
You crying?
I'm not crying, but it's early, so my eyes are crying.
I think you're just taken away by the beauty.
I am taken away by the beauty.
Don't walk like that. No, don't walk like, what are you doing? Can you
Just
walk normal? Walk normal.
General Norwegian stride. Have you never heard of the Norwegian stride?
No, can you go walk normal?
Actually, first time I found like a Tolkien book, it was in the school library, and it was the cover art. I pulled out the book and I was like, ooh, this is so exciting. But then I couldn't get through the book. I was like 13 or something. And then the movies brought me right back in. Then I watched the movies and I had to read the books. So then I pushed through. There was a full day of filming in front of us before we could pack up and head on our road trip into the mountains. Hey, what are you filming for? The goal for today was to capture the rustic feel of the countryside house this beanie brand emerged from. And my dad had also made a call to allow us to capture something very special. A memory about to be lost forever.
So have him, if you can just have him walking around doing stuff.
But first, it's time for those mundane, everyday shots around the house. Everyone's comfort zones were stretched in the process, and the discussion of what we wanted was ongoing the whole time.
Okay.
Let's go
Jeg
with
kan
it.
ta på meg noe annet, hvis det...
It's a very nice sweater, though.
Yeah.
It's ugly.
The
The grey red hat.
grey red hat.
Yeah.
I love the gray one. He doesn't like the gray one?
Oh yeah.
No, he just hates the red
If I should have a red hat, it had to be grey.
That's to be great.
Can you look at the camera and smile?
Oh.
So I like a nice mix of like handheld, like motion like this where it's not super smooth or perfect.
Yeah. Just think like I want handheld, and I have a hard time imagining what the mix looks like.
Do you want me to take it and
Yeah, is that what you would normally do? Bring it in there with you?
bring it into the car?
Yeah. Is that what you would normally do?
Maybe
Or would you just
maybe just pick up the tools I want to use.
That's fine, yeah. That's fine.
With all that you watched now, it might feel a little messy.
Sorry, can we do it one more time?
Did I go too fast?
No, I did something wrong.
But with a few black bars, a little color, a little music, even the most mundane everyday scene can be romanticized. And then there is the power of the voiceover. This is Ole Karl. He's not named so because he's old, but because his first name is Ole, and Americans think it is slang for old. Like many Norwegian dads, he loves tinkering endlessly with old cars. And of course, as an old family man, he sacrifices sweat, tears, and the skin on his hands to keep his family warm. Ole Karl was always a master of wood, a tamer of old relics, but now also a movie star, reluctantly emerged from the woodworks. After having a little fun with all of this, the best idea ever came to Kevin, after my dad had pulled out his veteran motorcycle from the depths of the garage. We threw Kevin in the trunk of the old Volvo, and filmed from there.
Det var andre veien jeg mente, for da slipper du kjøre opp den bakken. Det beste var...
It's time to get to that almost lost memory I told you about. I'll give you the backstory while we have a dinner break. A home-cooked Norwegian mom classic. Kjøttkaker. When I was a kid, my dad owned a bus. Built in 1972 on the Norwegian South Coast. And with that bus, he took the family all across the mountain roads that crisscrosses central Norway. When planning this film, I asked him if he knew where the bus ended up. And he did. It was parked only a few kilometers from their house, and my dad gave the new owners a call so we could come and film it. Yet another personal touch could be added to our film. But it was a bittersweet final goodbye. The bus had been used harshly and was now only waiting to finally be sent to the wrecker. There was a fire extinguisher hanging here, and at one time we hit a road bump and the whole fire extinguisher fell down, and it just sprayed white powder all over here. It filled the entire bus. It was massive. Oh, look at this spider. Look at the long legs. You know, when the spiders take over, then that's when it's time to leave. That's when it's time to just give it to the spiders and go. Yeah, I'm gonna set you free. Norwegian company that built the bus. So Scania is a Swedish brand, but they had a factory in Norway. And these built a very limited amount of buses. So all of these buses that they built, I think, are kept track of. But it's like the people live on for now, and you can always make new memories. You can take another vehicle, put the same people, and you can go out and make memories. Memories. This bus was a treasure cache of memories. And as we sit down in the living room to capture the last of the footage from the house, the clock is ticking us closer to the mountains with each passing minute. And while my mom brings out the knitting needles, recreating the foundation this brand is built on, we dig into those old memories as a foretaste for Kevin, so he'll be charged up for what we are about to do in the next part. And that childhood dream of mine, I can see it vaguely taking shape. I can almost name it. Hello from the editing suite. Here I'm sitting editing episode number 1. If you liked this episode, give me a comment. Let me know that you exist, that there's a human here on the other side of this camera. I'd love to know that. Give me a like just to, I don't know, help this video spread to more people if you think it's worth that. If you like this kind of storytelling, I'm publishing the book about how I built this company. It's coming out in 2026. But you can be on the book list, so you'll know first thing, and you can preview the first chapter when you sign up. So there's much more stories. There's about 100 pages, a light read, with the same vibe as this documentary series. If you're into Norwegian hand knit caps, that's what we do. You can also find a link to that below. And then finally, you probably want to move on to part 2. If it hasn't come out yet, subscribe, hit the bell icon as well, so you're notified of the new videos we put out. And then you'll know when the next one comes out. So see you on the next one.